Hey, how you doing? I know you weren't able to do any minutes, so, we would take minutes. Or, did I send you the iTranscribe? Did you try that? I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And what you do, you just turn it on, and it'll record and type as it records.
Oh,
I'll send it
okay.
to you now.
Okay.
So we're on live stream through Facebook and YouTube. We want to welcome everybody to our January Liberty Hill Improvement Council meeting. We're going to start our year with some presentations from DOT and Rapid Transit, as well as our law enforcement and resource officer. They come. If not, I have a report that they sent us. Good evening. We just get started. I sent you the This is
This is it. It's just a few things. I didn't bring some.
Still have property?
I think Newman Street, but it's over there by the apartments. You still got that? Rivers or Dorchester? Yeah, off of Rivers. You sold that? It's a house.
And can I get your attention, we open up with a prayer, please? Those who like to stand for prayer. Father God, we come to you on this hour. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for everything, Father God. Father God, we thank you that you brought us from last year to this year. Father, as we're about to start this new session now, community meetings, we ask that you continue to bless us as you've always done. We ask that you bless those who are here and those who may be on the web, on Facebook. Father God, we give you all praise and all honor. In Jesus' blessing we ask. We ask all of you blessed. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, we want to thank you all for coming to our January meeting. We ask that everybody sign in. There's a sign-in sheet right there. And then get a copy of the 2024 budget for us to vote on. We have the same budget we had from last year. Nothing changed. The only event that we had was Juneteenth. That's it. Want to congratulate the winners from Christmas on the Hill. I know I mentioned it last month, but first place with the Christmas tree contest was Castle Avenue, and second place was Gaynor Avenue, and third place was Williams Avenue. And they did a wonderful job. They had some beautiful trees. And then we had the Taste of Liberty Hill. We had okra soup, lima beans, red rice, cabbage, collard greens, macaroni and cheese, pork beans. And the first place for the lima beans was Mr. Joseph Haley. The second place for the okra soup, the first place for the okra soup was Dr. Barwell. And the first place for the vegetables was Bert.
Amen.
Yeah. So we want to give them a hand because they did a great job. And then we want to thank all the volunteers. We had over 30 volunteers. I mean, everybody was in their respective places. Each booth had like 2 volunteers. So we just thank everybody who helped coordinate it, because it took months and months to coordinate it. We thank everybody who actually participated and volunteered. And then we want to thank our last minute Santa Claus. Would you stand our last minute Santa Claus? He was gracious enough to be our Santa Claus, and we thank God for him. The kids loved him. You know, they were following him around. He was like, wait a minute, you're in pictures. So it was a wonderful event, and we pray that we can continue to have that from here, from now on. And our new mayor is on board. Speaking about new mayor, you know, we want to give him a hand. Everybody went to the inauguration. Was that a great inauguration? So I know that was a proud moment for a lot of us, especially since he's from Liberty, partly from Liberty Hill. So we just thank God for him. We know he has a task ahead of him, and we're definitely going to pray strength in the Lord, as well as ask God to cover him and his protection around him. Amen.
Amen.
And we have a town hall meeting that we have every year. It's going to be on February 16th. That's a Friday from 6 to 8, and it's at Royals Gym. We're going to ask even Rapid Transit to come back out and present to the community. And that's another platform that we use to give all the information to the community of the actual activities that we have. We have 10 nonprofits that work on different things in the community, and they present also to let us, the community, know what they're doing. So we ask you to come back to that so the community will know. And then we have a permanent footprint of this. We put it on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Liberty Hill Community, and then North Charleston. And then we have our Facebook pages, Liberty Hill Reunion page and Liberty Hill Improvement Council. We also have a new page, it's Instagram. Liberty Hill Community Instagram. So we're moving up in the world, y'all. We have a young lady who's joining us. Her name is Christina Porterfield. She lives actually in California, but she does all that, our websites, everything for us. She mans it, and she puts the information out. She has a podcast that she does. She does a Liberty Hill Live from time to time. So she's trying to keep us on the map and keep us relevant. And so we thank God for her, because all that's volunteer work. So we thank God for that. Today's membership day. We ask that you have your money, pay $5 a month for 60 for the whole year. Gail's not here, so we may have to get Renisha to help. We have our receipt book, we give you the receipt. Who all wants to join today would be great. And then Renisha will go over the rules of membership, because it's so important to be a member, because you have a voice. And she'll explain all of that, the time frame and everything. And then one more thing, I want you to pray for us to get shut in. Quite a few people are sick because of viruses and everything. And then we had a couple of deaths in the community. David Williams passed.
Is it Williams or Williams?
Weeders, I'm sorry. I call him Williams because he's from the Williams family. We're all related, trust me. From the Nesbitt's to the Harpers to the Williams to the Weeders, all of them related.
Okay.
So, yeah, he passed. And then Joyce, her mom's a Harper. She passed also today.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joyce, you said?
Yeah, Joyce passed today.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
So, and we say these names, y'all, because we are all related by blood of our marriage or just growing from the community with family. So everybody knows everybody. So. Okay, with that said, I will turn it over to Renisha.
Okay, I'm going to read this from the bylaws. Article 2, in section 1 is on the membership. Membership shall be open to all individuals and institutions who are interested in the Liberty Hill community, its preservation and future vitality. Section 2 reads, voting membership shall be classified as follows: A, an individual; B, family; 2 or more persons residing at the same address; C, out of area, which is not a present resident but past resident of Liberty Hill community, North Charleston, South Carolina; D is institutional, 1099 or W-4 employment or employee, business owner or organization head of Liberty Hill community. North Charleston, South Carolina. And E, special, as approved by the board, i.e. good standing members over age 75, their dues are waived. F is charter members, those in good standing. Non-voting members or other individuals or individuals or institutions who are interested in the Liberty Hill community's well-being. Section 3 reads, Section 3 is for dues. It reads, membership is a one-time $5 registration with $5 monthly dues due at meeting time or paid yearly in January for voting members, totaling $65 per year. Non-voting members pay $2 per month for a total of $24 per year. Donations are accepted at any time from the public or members at any amount. For $5, non-voting. Oh, I'm sorry, section 8. A member in good standing is one whose dues are current. For continuing members, dues are payable January 1st of each year. For new members, dues are payable upon joining the Liberty Hill Improvement Council. Any member whose dues are in arrears for 3 months or more shall, after due notice for the Liberty Hill Improvement Council, be dropped from membership in the Liberty Hill Improvement Council, and all rights and privileges granted shall cease. Only members in good standing may vote and hold office. And then in section 9, any member may be expelled from the Liberty Hill Improvement Council by 2/3 majority vote of the executive board for good cause.
All right, thank you, Renisha, we appreciate that. So, anybody want a copy of the bylaws, we're more than happy to print it out for you. We usually, make copies for you as needed. It's like a 6-page document. We did pass it out last year. Just let me know, and I'm more than happy to email it to you or, make a copy. Okay, minutes, we would like to dispense from our minutes. And what I will do is email you our minutes from the last meeting. And then, I do want to acknowledge that we have an administrator that's filling in, and that's Tanya Millette. So we thank God for her till we find a permanent administrator. And then we have Sika Mitchell, she's our treasurer, as well as we have Dexter Wright as our parliamentary chaplain, and Renisha Holmes as our vice president, and Valerie as your president for 2024. Amen. Resource officer is not here. So there were a couple of crimes in the area. One on Luella was a break-in enter. I think they stole some money out of the car and some cigarettes. And then on Independence Street, there was firearms. Somebody had firearms that they retrieved. So those are the two reports that I got from the resource officer.
What's her address on Luella?
On Independence, which one?
Luella was the vehicle breaking?
Yeah, there is an address.
We can move along. I can get it later.
Okay,
I just want to add it to you.
yeah, I'll email it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Loella is 4835 Loella Avenue. And then the firearms was the corner of East Montague and Independent Avenue. Next, we have our code enforcement. We have Tammy Rigman. Amen. That's here.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tammy Emmanuel. I'm your new code officer for 2024. I'm just gonna give you some highlights. I've been in the area before. So I have all of District 8, which goes from Remount Road all the way to McMillan, which is a lot. So I am just getting acclimated into this area to take a look and see what's happening around, so don't panic too much. I will say that I have to do my job, so if you want to talk to me or ask me questions, I am here, available, and willing to answer if I have an answer. I have flyers here. I don't know if you've gotten any of them before. I'm going to leave them with the president. This just gives you a little idea of what we go around and we look for. The information is on the back side, on the front side. If I hadn't get this on your door, it's saying that, hey, you got a violation. I sent you a letter. You didn't respond to the letter. This is in hopes that you will respond, but if you don't, then we'll go to the next level. Not that we have to, but we always try to work with the community. We work hand in hand with the trash people, so sanitation. This is their flyer. If they have something that they have a complaint about, I would also put this on their door as well. It gives you a little bit of the rules for them. And then I will also put one of mine to say which rules you are breaking as far as the violation goes. A lot of times when it comes to sanitation, is normally you didn't put the pile in the right place, or you put them the wrong way, you mix them, or either you put material inside your trash containers, or you have bags on the ground and they're not supposed to be. Because if your trash is overflowing, they ask that you get another container. And if you get the other container, or if you put your own container out there, they will not touch your own container. You have to have a City of North Charleston container. I have the fire regulations. I have it in English and in Spanish. I noticed we don't have the Spanish people in here, but I do know that we have them in an area. So this basically tells you that the City of North Charleston has a ban on fires. And today when I was strolling through the neighborhood, I did see a lot of people burning their fires on the outside, burning leaves, burning trash, whatever they wanted to burn. That technically is a no-no. Okay? I'm gonna leave this also with the neighborhood president so that she can put it in her paperwork and hand out or let you guys know. I also wanted to say that when I'm going through and I'm doing my job, I'm sending out letters. The letters give you 15 days to take care of the situation. If you have any questions, you can always call and find out what it is if you don't understand the letter. Don't assume that the letter is a ticket, because the letter is not a ticket. It's just saying that we passed by, we saw a violation, and we're asking for you to fix it. Once you fix the violation, the letter goes away and we're good. If you don't answer the letter or try to fix the violation, when I ride by again and the letter has expired, then I'm probably going to write you a ticket or put a door hanger on your door, depending on what it is and how many times you've been written for it. We're told to only write you one time about that issue, and then we can put a door hanger or speak to you in person about it. After that, we have to take the next measures so that we can get the situation rectified. I'm also going to leave my business cards with the neighborhood president so that she can give them out if you guys want to get in contact with me, or she would put them into the, I don't know, online.
Yeah, I can.
So that they know how to get in contact with me. I don't think I have enough for everybody that's in here right now. But I will leave that so that you can, if you have any questions or you want to contact me in any way. Okay, I noticed you had a hand up in the back.
I was asking about the ban on burning. Is that because of the weather currently, or is that just a ban on burning altogether?
It's a ban on burning altogether. The City of North Charleston had a ban on burning for about 10 years now. Because of the houses catching on fire, the heavy wind, and people not really knowing how to handle the fire. Most of the time, they have it too close to the house, they're burning the wrong things. It makes a lot of smoke in the air for the elderly. They can't take that kind of oxygen, and a lot of people just don't like the smoke in their area. So the city had put a ban on it about 10 years ago.
What are the fines for it?
The only fines that I could write is $1,092. I'm not sure what the fire department would write, and I'm not sure what any other department would write. But I do know the fines for me, if I write the ticket, it's $1,092.
And that's for overflowing trash out of the trash can also.
That's for anything that I have to write a fine for. If it's grass, whether it's trash, car, junk. And what I call junk may not be junk for you, and a lot of people are not understanding what the right-of-way is. The right-of-way is the property from the street all the way to your property door. If you have litter there, and I say, hey, you got litter, there is litter in that right-of-way, then you still need to clean it up. It's your responsibility to clean it up. If you're elderly and you can't get out there and clean it up, call me, let me know what's going on so that I can try to work with you or try to find a solution to rectify the situation. Because sometimes it is the trash people who put some of that litter out there. And I'm understanding with that, and I will follow them, especially if I think they're doing it and they're not cleaning up behind themselves. Yes, ma'am.
The leaf burning violation, during normal business hours, are we to call you or are we to call 911 for the fire department and then they will contact you? How does that work?
Anytime you have any burning that you want to complain about, go ahead and call the fire department. And that would be the non-essential number that the police officers always leave when they're in here. You call the non-essential number and tell them that you have burning in there. If you want to call me, I still will come, but I still would have to go ahead and call the fire department as well. Because I can't put it out, nor can I go over there and tell them what the rules are, because I'm not a fireman.
But you can tell them what the rules are
I
as
can
related
tell
to
them-
code enforcement.
I can tell them that there is a rule that says that you cannot burn. And if they don't put the fire out, if it's not contained in a barrel, because the fire department will tell you that if you have a barrel and you're burning something, put a hot dog or something across it, then it's fine. But if you're burning it and it's open or any of the other stuff, then you're not fine. I mean, even if you put the hot dog over it. I mean, a lot of people have the burn pits. That's different. That's considered for food, that kind of stuff. So, and a lot of people have those. So there's a difference between burning leaves and trash versus burning a fire pit with the wood. Or putting the fake ones out there. They have fake ones out there too. Anybody have any other questions for me? Okay, thank you. I hope you guys don't mind me being in the neighborhood, because here I am. Have a good night.
All right. Don't forget to sign in, those who just came in, this sign-in sheet is right on that table. I appreciate it. And next we'll have a financial report by our treasurer, Sita Mitchell. Is she on the phone?
Yeah, she's on the phone.
Okay. Ask her to speak up so everybody can see.
Good evening, this is Sita Mitchell, treasurer.
Can y'all hear?
Our balance was $2,702.79. Our ending balance is $2,654.72. The expenses were office supplies, and one person paid their dues for the year. Any questions?
Did y'all hear her?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any
Do you have any
questions?
questions?
No questions.
Okay, so just know we operate off our membership, so as soon as y'all get membership in, we'll have more in the budget to operate off. And our budget, Sita, what, you want to tell them what the expenses go for, Sita?
Repeat that?
Do you want to tell them what the expenses go for?
For the dues?
The dues.
For membership dues?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll be glad to.
okay. Waiting on you. You got it handy, or you have to find?
Well, I do have it handy.
Okay.
Your membership dues are used for programming have, like, Christmas on the Hill. Also events, meetings, office supplies, advertisement, newsletters, websites, and overhead. So your dues are needed. We're gonna do something fun with the dues on next week, next month, the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. We're gonna love what your dues do for you. And so I'm gonna have, some Valentine refreshments, like some candy, some cookies, and you can come and pay your dues. I'll be there early at 6 o'clock. And you pay by cash, check, or cash app.
And anybody want to pay by Cash App today, it's improvement count, it's money sign improvement council. That's it. Money sign improvement council. Okay, thank you, Sita, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, now we will have our committee reports. Reunion group, do you have any reports?
No, well, I guess, yeah, because we've done like our little small planning meeting, and we have planned so far, we're trying to do a, what's that thing? Yeah, Valentine's dance, and we're trying to get that off the ground. And that's in February. In March, we want to have a fish fry. And we do need to talk to Ms. Geraldine Millette because we're thinking about using her property again in March. April, we're supposed to be having an actual taste of Liberty Hill. But Gail hadn't worked out all the kinks yet, but that's what we're planning for April. And I don't think I have anything after that. But
November.
yeah, then November, we want to do a crab crack and oyster roast. And in December, we want to do an angel tree. So we're sort of working on doing these things for this year.
So in November, the crab crack and oyster rolls will be in addition to Thanksgiving? Or you want to switch it?
I did put Thanksgiving.
Okay, so that's gonna be in place of Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
Okay.
place of Thanksgiving. Like maybe after Thanksgiving, we'll try to do that because a lot of people get tired of eating turkey. But now they might want to come out and eat some crabs and oysters on that weekend. So
Okay,
we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
okay. Any questions? Additions, concerns? Thank you, Regina. Beautification committee, anything? At this time. Political action, well, we have a new mayor, everybody worked hard, I just thank everybody again for all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that they put in for the past election, so thank you all, thank you. We do have to do a membership drive for the new election coming up in November, so we'll be working through that and tell you where to go and help us put it out in the community. Then we have our guest speakers. Our guest speakers are from DOT and Transit, right? Well,
Kind of.
they'll explain who they are, but they're working for that project. There you go. So they'll explain everything. And just know, this is a permanent record, so we will refer people to this YouTube video for information about this project. So, do we need to turn the lights off? Thanks, Carol. You want to explain who you are?
Yeah, I was just seeing how to make sure that he's okay for it.
There.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I remember seeing a few of you guys from the meeting on Tuesday. My name is Michelle Emerson. I am the Marketing and Communications Manager for BCDCOG. That's the Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester Council of Governments. And also for Carter. We manage the Carter system. I've been with Carter for about 18 years now. So been to many public meetings in this community and know a lot of you guys. So again, glad to be here and give you some updates about the project. And we also, I'll let Ryan introduce himself, but HDR is a contractor that's helping us with this. So I'll let you go from there.
So I'm Ryan Bauman with HDR. Our role in the project is supporting the BCD COG and helping in project management, giving extra staff support and project knowledge of delivering BRT projects across the US.
Do I need to, is everybody good, or should I turn one of them off, or are we good with the lighting as it is?
Yeah, we're good with that. Our resource officer came in, I didn't know if he had any other emergencies he had to deal with.
You can pause if you need to.
I'll be very brief.
Okay.
How's everybody doing? Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
I am still your neighborhood resource officer until it's time.
Want to see your handsome face on camera? How about that?
What it do, baby?
Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year.
So, you don't know where I am. I'm Officer Cooper, the North Charleston Police Department. I'm still your neighborhood resource officer until this sign will change me out once they have more people assigned. Next month, we'll have a few more people assigned to unit. So they'll be definitely taking some more responsibilities off me. So with that being said, I have some updates, I believe, from last month. I'm aware of the NESVET activity on NESVET, Thompson, and Juilliard. I put in something for narcotics to look into, so they're active in investigating that drug house we talked about last month. I can't speak on that any further, that's what they're doing. So when I have inclusion at the end of the investigation, whether it's next month or the following month, I'll be sure to report that to everybody as well. I'm aware about, I believe I sent an email to code enforcement as far as what they're helping out. I'll be interacting as well. As far as speeding, I was rezoned to District 3 and 4, so most of the time I'm up north. So most of the time I'm out there, but Sergeant Potts talked to me today and said when you get time, you're not there, you're more welcome to still come down here and try to monitor stuff. So that's the updates I have for you guys in for the request you guys gave me last month. Is there any request I can deal with for the next 30 days that I need to look into?
Speaking of local on the street.
You know, I try to call you to deal with that number.
You want to give me myself?
You said 4 times.
I got it.
I'm gonna get that off really quick.
732 947 6438. And my lovely aunt, Miss Burgess over there, has my phone number as well. So if you think it's fake, I promise you, it's not. 732 947 6438. 732 947. I'm like, there's a reason. See, I did this 4 times. Still didn't know that I had it. 732 947 6438. That is my actual cell phone. You call it right now, it should ring. You want to call it right now, right in front of the camera, so they know that my phone works? All right, so as far as the crimes that I reported, I have a beanie at 4835 Willow Drive, as well as the weapons offense East Mount Union Independent Avenue, where I would make an arrest on that one as well. So that's all we have this month. The beanies went down compared to the prior crimes last month, which is really good. So it appears that the nice conversation we had with each other last month as a family affected everybody here, which is great. It's just locking your doors, and understand that most of the crimes we have here, when it comes to breaking in vehicles, they're not forced entry. There are people leaving their stuff open. So please continue to lock your stuff up. I'm dealing that issue up for the Old Glory Lane. I'm dealing with that, and that's a new area to me, and I'm already dealing with that. That's already become an issue right now. So in their community meetings, I'll talk to them about that. But as far as here, you guys are doing that. So with that being said, is there anything else? Gainer Avenue said that's an ongoing investigation. I'll keep tabs on that. And as far as the speeding, I'll still talk to the traffic unit and see what we can do as far as there's anything I can do as far as, so maybe not for the dirt bikes, but the ATVs, we can still step in for that. Outside of that, is there anything else I can do at this time for everybody? Now listen, I'm gonna get paid by your tax dollars either way, so now it'll be used to it. So if y'all got nothing else for me, thank you guys for your time. And if you have anything else, please give me a call.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay. Don't forget to sign in, sign the sheet, those who came in.
Is that good for everyone?
Yeah, yes.
All right. Fantastic. Well, Ryan again, I'm still here. And but Michelle and I just wanted to come tonight mostly to give you an overview of the project. I know you spoke a little on Tuesday night. But then really be here to field some questions. The two of us might not be able to answer everything, but we will take it back to the different folks that can and get back to you. But I'll start with a project overview. So the Low Country Rapid Transit BRT project, you know, what BRT is it's really it's a way of, it's a 23.1 mile bus rapid transit system that really enhances your local bus by providing dedicated lanes and connectivity and stations throughout the community. As we look at the graphic up on the page, you'll see a lot of these red lanes. That's where the buses travel to help increase their reliability, their speed, that commute time. The station's an example of the station and how it really becomes this sense of community place. We've really seen that successful, and it connects, North Charleston gets downtown and really brings the jobs and that community involvement of these destinations. Some of the highlights on what the project is: 21.3 miles. There'll be new battery electric buses procured with this. And there's a lot of new technologies that come to it than what you might be used to on your normal bus. It gives prioritization, these sensors in the traffic signals that help just steal a couple seconds from oncoming traffic to give it a little more priority, that extra green time. Wi-Fi at the stations around the buses, more of that interactive station maps and that information to wayfinding at the station itself. And then, you pay for your fare off of the bus. There's ticket vending, little machines, instead of all that time you'd spend getting on the bus, paying, slowing down traffic before you, all happen beforehand to help kind of make that a faster service, more reliable. The neat things about bus rapid transit is that investment in BRT is really seen back in the community and the riders that use this system. I believe on the project, we're around, there's around like 8.5 miles of reconstructed sidewalks, nearly 18 miles of mixed-use paths, and there's a lot of ADA and pedestrian improvements that come along with it. So it's not just about the bus service, it's also about, the corridor itself. Sorry, on my side, I see my daughter's gymnastics are starting. Hope mom's going. So here's a map of the corridor. Starts up north at the fairgrounds, comes down, down along the corridor. It's about a 70-mile trip from the fairgrounds to the medical district downtown Charleston. Frequencies, 10-minute headways, so a lot more frequent than the local bus service is, at least during the peak hours. And then it connects with the additional services that CARTA and Tri-County Link provide.
So straight down rivers, all the way to Link.
For the most part.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, can I ask a question in the middle of all this?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm in Ladson and I want to take this thing to downtown, maybe to the medical plaza downtown.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do I park?
We are working on securing that location up there near the fairgrounds where it's a small parcel in that area. So there will be a actual park and ride wherever that may be. If you are familiar with our current one that's on Rivers Avenue, it's right over there. What is it? The steakhouse, T-Bones or something like that. We're on the other
Texas
side.
Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
Yeah, so a park and ride like that, that's where you would park and then you'd be able to get on and then it would take you down and then you would stop at stations at that point along.
Okay.
Do you have any idea of how many spaces you're talking about when you say a small lot that you're trying to acquire?
I don't remember exactly how many spaces, but it's not like, I'm not talking about like 20 parking spaces. It's a little bit larger than that.
Okay.
A little bit?
A
Okay.
good bit, no, I said a good bit larger than that. Right now, our current parking lot, I believe, up on Rivers Avenue, can hold, I think about 400 cars, I believe it is. And so we're talking about hundreds, if anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have parking at each station, which I know you're gonna have like the feeder routes.
Mm-hmm.
And I can probably just leave my car home and walk to the street and get on a bus.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not in that, or a visitor
Mm-hmm.
from that area, are you gonna have parking at each
Not at each station, but there will be some along the corridor. Again, for example, we can leave from up there by the fairgrounds, and then there will be that one that's on Rivers Avenue. So that's right there at the station. So there will be some as it goes down the corridor.
Okay.
And we can make sure we get some more information on both of those, how many spaces and where the parking lots are along. A good bit of our paperwork does, I was gonna say, actually notates where they are right now. And some of them are still in the works, especially in the downtown area.
Have these blue little dots show, there's one at the end of the line, the existing, on the Melnick, and then, there's a proposed one. Down by Mount Pleasant.
How many people the bus holds and how much?
So bus typically it'll be a 60-foot bus, so about 7.
Yeah, because normally our regular buses can hold 30 to 40 people, just depending on which size it is. And so if we're talking about articulated buses, then we're doubling that size. And it'll be the same price as what our current service is.
And it comes every 70 minutes.
That's about the round trip. That's how long it would take you to get from one end all the way to another. And that's the estimated time. Again, remember, part of this is in a dedicated roadway area, and then part of it is in mixed traffic. So when we get to those streets that are a little bit narrow, there's not a lot of driving, but area that we can actually have a lane in, that's where it needs, the extra time. It is a good ways from there as well. But during peak time, it's what you feel when you're standing there at the bus stop. You could have 10, 15 minute service every 10, 15 minutes. So that's what you would feel when you're actually at the station.
Yeah, BRT is that you don't even need the schedule to plan it here. You're coming up and if you miss the next one, check your phone in the next one. Any more on that? We got some more slides to give some more of these details. Our engagement to date, from 2018, it's really important to get out to the community events like this, and really, this is your system. This is what's helping you. So really, this process that, the past, well, I guess it's 24 now, holy smokes, 6 years has gathered that input to really shape the project on where it is today. A little bit of that history, just how these stations were identified and what's changed over the course of time. So as the previous slide mentioned, in 2019, this public engagement process really took off, looking at all modes of travel and engaged in this, this community discussion on these station locations. As we, went through a lot of the meetings, identified the station areas, and some that, looking at where do people live, where do they work, where do they play, where are these key activity nodes, and what helps justify the ridership side of it as we look at funding. Got a little delay. As that process continued, really resulted in that 20 stations along the corridor were identified. Again, really with those drivers for ridership, of employment, of education, affordable housing, healthcare, all the entertainment center, all the things that really help communities thrive, and looking at where the existing transit service thrives as well. And a further analysis of what this public input and the design plan development came along, and that's where a couple of these changes came with the shifts. One specifically here at Durant and Helm, but they're just 3 stations were relocated or added. The addition of the Helm station, and relocating the Milford station to Haygood, relocating the Huger station to Lee, and then as we talk about what's going on right outside here, that at Durant, it's been paused with the Durant. South Carolina DOT has a planned overpass project, and started having that conversation of what do we do about the BRT in the meantime. Well, funding source with FTA has a lot of payback requirements, so you don't want to go build something that's going to be torn up in a few years. So the decision was made, let's pause that effort, still have the BRT come through, but then better coordinate with the SCDOT and PCD COG on when that project's ready. There's a planned center station there, just outside, sorry, that's not the Durant images of the current Helm one. But there's a planned station at Durant when that overpass project does come along forward. So this on the screen is showing the Helm Station location that's continuing in line with the LCRT project.
So that's just sort of, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I was explaining. Here, that shows just the relationship back to from where Durant is to where we're now.
So the red is the overpass that goes over the tree.
Correct.
Right there.
Correct.
So, where we are, we're in the engineering phase with the FTA calls it. It runs for another 3 years till 2027 when construction would start. And, anticipated opening, 2029 for something that you'd be able to cut the ribbon and ride on.
So what most of you that may be even somewhat familiar with the project, what we talked about on Tuesday, and just unfortunately, we don't have Derek with DOT down and Representative Adam from representing City of North Charleston. But the main thing is that station relocation is what we wanted to make sure. We want to make sure that we're always communicating with you guys. This is a very important project for our region, for our area, and it's going to be very beneficial for a lot of communities along this corridor. So we want to make sure that we're constantly out talking to you guys. You may have met Morgan Grimes in the past. She was our outreach specialist. Unfortunately, we lost her. Someone took her from us, but she has some great opportunities. So you may be seeing me for a little while as far as filling that outreach lead role at that point. So want to make sure that you guys do that. So that station is being relocated, but again, it's being paused at this point. We are going to be looking at putting that back in. It's just that because they are redoing that, it doesn't make sense to build a station for them to just tear it out because they have to do that work. And so that's where Adam and Derek were kind of explaining from the DOT side as far as how long that project may be. They are at the very kind of beginning of that project for the most part to give you a framework or thought process of what that looks like. We've been in this process for at least about 10 years. And we have just come out of the NEPA process, and we are now in engineering. And so just for example, for Durant, they haven't even gone through the NEPA process, and that takes a long while as it is. So it may not coincide with the timing of LCRT, which is why this decision was made to try to relocate that. And until we get that, one of the things that we are looking at in the next year, we will be looking at all of our routes, which we do on a regular basis. I think the last time we did what they call as a comprehensive analysis of our routes was about 10 years ago. And that's when we modified some routes, changed some names. And so that's what's going to be happening in the next year as well. And so from that, we will be identifying some other resources and possibly be having some feeder routes. And so the question is, how can folks from Liberty Hill still get there to the stations and what's the nearest places that they can get to? And so that's where the feeder routes will become very crucial in taking folks from specific bus stops in the area and then going to where the station is there at home until the Durant station is actually up and going at that point. So again, as this is a living and breathing project, and so there will be modifications and things as we go. But it's important to communicate that with you guys. So again, that's one of the reasons we want to make sure that we let you guys know and give you a great access to us if you ever have any questions. So that was one of the main things that we wanted to make sure that we got across, because the last thing we want to do is have everything start being constructed and then you're like, well, where's my station? It's not appearing, it doesn't look like they're building anything there. And then we come out and explain. So we want to do it well in advance. I think I saw some hands. I'll get you first.
So realistically, how much out of sync? Well, first question is what is the nearest station to replace the Durant station, which will not be built?
It will be, it's just paused.
Which will not be built in sync with the opening.
Correct.
It's going to be delayed.
Correct.
So I understand you said you don't know how long that's going to take, but where is the next station that people can access?
Helms and Durant. And that's where the feeder route will take people from Montague, from this area, and that's what we'll be looking at next year as far as what those feeder routes are. We also know the importance of those feeder routes being on time, regulating with the bus so that you connect with it very good. So that'll be taking folks from the area and then taking them up to Helms and Durant and
But Mall Drive is closer.
Right.
Why must?
Well, either one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not, that was just
Okay.
one from replacing that, so it'll be taking them to those two, yeah.
So we're talking about years before the Durant station can come online?
That's
No idea.
That, yeah, and that's why I said it's unfortunate that we don't have those guys in to be able to talk to that, but I think what it felt like even on Tuesday, that they don't have a good idea as when those dates are going to be locked down as well. But again, it doesn't make sense to put that much of an investment in something that you know is going to be torn down within probably 2 to 3, maybe 4 years of that time.
Is that because of CSX or it's just?
I think it's a lot of things. Like I said, it's a long process, but as the gentleman stated in Tuesday's meeting, that does, play a role because it is a lot of moving pieces in there, including CSX, the ports and so forth. Yes, ma'am, I think, and did I answer your question in the back? Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Being that we're on the video,
Mhm.
and you said feeder routes,
Mhm.
can we talk now, put our name forward saying that whoever feeder route that comes to Liberty Hill will be outstanding, going and coming into Liberty Hill?
Will be what now?
Highlighted and made special, because we want a lot of people to come to Liberty Hill, or go through Liberty Hill.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We would like, I don't think we want that little small bus stop when most of the money going down to Avenue.
Yeah, no, when we're looking at those locations, and I think we spoke a little bit on that on Tuesday, we've made vast improvements on a lot of these areas of the stops and so forth. And we put out, I think, almost about 100 new solar shelters in the areas. We've got a lot of solar lights that are out there and some benches and so forth. So we'll be looking at that, making sure that it is a nice feeder route. Again, we may not be able to have a shelter at every stop that feeder route goes to, but we want to make it comfortable and safe as much as possible. And so, yes, any of those, we want to make sure, because again, we want this project to be something that helps people all along the corridor, that it has more opportunity, people have more opportunity because they can get to that service, which is a faster service, to open up different doors at that point, and vice versa, bring people here to the Liberty Hill area so that they can, again, enjoy the area, spend money, and have a great time in the area. So we want to make sure that those things are coordinated. And we will notate that and make sure that our project managers are very aware of that. And as that process goes on, we will still be coming out here communicating with you, whether it's asking if we can get on the neighborhood meeting so that we can give you an update of this is what the feeder routes look like, and then you can kind of tell us how you want it tweaked, and then we can go from there. But we were not doing this in a vacuum without you guys. We'll make sure that we are talking to you guys. And as you stated, coming out even to the other events where we can talk to a little bit more of the masses. One of our main things, we want to talk to you guys, but we also know that there are hundreds of other families in this area. And so we want to make sure that we're trying to get this information out to them as well. So one of the things that we asked the group on Tuesday was, do they have any other suggestions? Right now, of course, we do social media, we come out to various events. We can even do email blasts, but is it worth? I think someone, Mayor Burns at the churches and so forth. So if it's anything else that you would think that would be helpful for us to come out to, even if it's walking and doing a whole street team effort, the old school street team method of just walking down the street, knocking on folks' doors, if that's the best way, whatever ways that you guys think that we can get the majority of folks to get them the information and make sure that they stay involved with the project, please let us know. When Morgan was here, we actually had office hours, so we do have a presence here at the Amtrak station. We can even set up times where we're here and available for any community members that may have any questions as well.
This route is in addition to all the other routes, right?
Correct. And so the hope is that this will also free up some resources. So again, we can do some of those things like the feeder routes into some of our other services. But the Route 10 will still be Route 10 because we have people that are going along that corridor that will need to stop in between, not just at the stations, because we don't have a station every 2 blocks, but the goal is to try to have stops in approximately that type of walking distance so that it's not so far apart. So that schedule will change a little bit, but it will still be there. And all the other schedules will be impacted as well. Again, that's why we're doing that comprehensive analysis, getting a jump on it and kind of coming from that.
So is this bus is a rail, or it's rolling on wheels?
It's rolling on wheels. They often call it, it's like light rail on rubber wheels, which is the same thing. But the difference between it is, again, a good portion of it will be in dedicated lanes. And so that's what keeps the traffic flowing. One of the things I've often said, because I used to use Express religiously, when our offices were still downtown, is the people's mind change when that bus kind of flies by you and you're sitting in traffic and it can keep going. That starts to change people's minds and perceptions of what they can do with that and how they can get on it and use it and so forth. So those dedicated lanes are going to play a great role. And even with the improvements as we go down the corridor, it's going to be safer for pedestrians, bicyclists, and everybody else. So it will still be a faster route then, because I think if you're on Route 10, it takes well over an hour to get from one end all the way to the other. Because again, it is a long way.
And how fast will it be going?
Regular speed limit. Yeah, we are following the law. Safety first. Yes, ma'am.
Are you all gonna be in the center, island of, Rivers Avenue?
For the most part, but it does vary depending on what's in the corridor and the context, but, a little over half the corridor is dedicated, and then, so the red lanes is dedicated, and then there's mixed traffic, operating more like a normal, typical bus, but with transit signal priority at another location, especially to get more towards the historic areas downtown.
My only concern there is you're gonna have to be in the center, but the safety as to someone needing to get to that center, at night, when it's raining, all of those different things from where you are, because like if I'm on the corner here and there's the railroad track right here, and my church is right here, and I wanna get to you, but, the thing is, how would someone do that safely?
So that's one of the benefits, and Ryan may speak to it as well. That's one of the benefits of this project, along with all a host of other ones, is that it will improve the visibility and safety along that corridor. Because along with that, we have to put in pedestrian crossings, better lighting, all those things, sidewalk improvement, all of those things will come with that, so that you can safely get people to that area. And once you are in that station, as Ryan said, you already pay for your ride. When the bus comes up, it's just like if you've ever been on a train, a subway train. When the doors open, you just get on at that point, so you don't have to worry about kind of lollygagging at that point.
Yeah, I was wondering whether you're gonna be building bridges, like an overpass type thing to get to each station. There's an overpass thing.
No, not, I believe, I'm not sure.
There's one.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was one.
over some railroad tracks.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But
But
not typical. So just looking at the image on the screen too, the center station, you mentioned, that safety aspect. Well, with these projects, we had a meeting today, there's an entire safety and security process that comes with the design so that it's at the forefront of the engineers and architects' mind as they're planning this. One of the benefits of a center station is that you're only crossing half of that roadway. Yes, you have to cross the half, no matter if you're on the start of your trip or your end of the trip. Putting in the center brings that visibility, the lighting, and that you're noticed out there. There's always increased lighting around the signals in the station, so that is key on the planners and designers' mind.
I'm gonna get you over there and then I'll come back over here. Yes, ma'am.
Will it be accessible for bikes?
Yes, yes, that is part of the plan as well. I know that the team is also looking at how to improve even being able to possibly bring those on. Right now, it's a little bit more of a safety hazard, and so they're looking at ways that they can mitigate that as well. But again, it'll bring that much needed visibility and safety factor to it, because we have to do that. And this is one of those projects where, and as I said on Tuesday, when we had John Mitchell here, and his family is from the area, and I'm from Savannah, Georgia, but improving how people look at people who are walking and biking is very important, that they're out there looking for them. Right now, you don't see that a lot. For example, Rivers and Ashley Foster up there by the Walmart, I cringe all the time, because even as people are making that right turn and folks think it's safe to cross, they're just looking at cars. So this will, again, heighten that visibility. It will heighten the awareness of this is what's going on, along with what we would actually put in. Again, pedestrian crossings, sidewalk improvements, and things of that nature. I'm gonna get her and I'm gonna
So this is not, because I went to one meeting and they were talking about doing kind of a light rapid rail kind of thing down the center of Rivers Avenue.
This is kind of that,
But these are buses that are traveling in the highway along with the rest of the traffic.
On those dedicated lanes where there's red at, there will be no other traffic. Where it says bus only, it will only be buses that's going down.
So you go all the way down to Latson, with that kind of construction.
A good bit of it.
Okay, because, you know, I live out in Goose Creek,
Mhm.
and just last night, I was thanking God that I was traveling slow enough, that I almost, two pedestrians just darn near walked right out in front of me.
That's what they
With all
do.
that shopping on both sides of Northwood, and in that median, you got drainage issues there, so I assume you all are gonna address that, so you don't get water
Yes,
run
ma'am.
off onto the road and bank the roads properly.
Yes, ma'am.
But in terms of increasing visibility, I guess that would be with, crosswalk
Mhm.
lights and all that,
Mhm, mhm,
because
mhm.
that's gonna be a daunting task.
Mhm.
And then to throw bikes in there,
Mhm.
there's already a problem with Rivers Avenue going down and going as far down to the city. There is not enough roadway
Mhm.
to handle the traffic.
Yes, absolutely, and that's one, and
And
that's.
so now you got a dedicated lane for this
Yeah.
bus only instead of like a,
Mhm.
you know, high occupancy lane.
Mhm.
And so that'll have its own lane.
And like I said, the good thing about this is it will fix some of those problems, because again, we have to, and again, it may be some other changes, it may be traffic, direction changes, and that'll come when we come back and kind of communicate to you guys, and that'll be, again, a general thing that's done. But we have to look at those safety improvements, we gotta make sure that we can get people across there absolutely safely, and they do this in other areas and have done this very well. So between lights, pedestrian crossings, and other things, again, that we can get our project manager, when we come to the next one, they can explain even a little bit better. But that is high on our list. Now, the other thing is twofold, because like you said, I'm talking about people in cars looking for people, but we also want to improve the pedestrians and the bicyclists, their knowledge as well, making sure that they are wearing something that's visible and again, safe in general. So it kind of goes, again, it raises that visibility, this project does. And with all the other safety improvements that we'll put in place, it should help in a lot of those areas.
So that means we have to secure more right of way. In order to do this, we have everything we need.
That I can't answer, but it wouldn't be for safe, it would be because of something like that. That, if it is, it's already in the plan, I believe, but we can definitely check that.
There's a number of easements and things needed. There's the majority of the right-of-way needs in the project right now are to add a multi-use trail, and part of it, some of the missing sidewalk pieces, that then pushes it up further out on that side of the roadway. So we're definitely trying to minimize those impacts. Your question on just where this dedicated lane piece, just to point back to this map, I know it's probably hard to see in the back, but the blue wider highlight, that's where there's a dedicated lane, and then where it's just red, that's where it's a mixed, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So from like here to about all the way up to University. And when we give you some information, you can go to the website. It actually has a great visualization that actually you kind of ride the entire route. But this is where the dedicated lane area is. And when you see it's just the red, that's where it's in mixed use. So as you see, once it gets past Reynolds and it's getting down into, again, the downtown area where the area is less available, that's where we're getting into mixed use. But for a good chunk of it is in dedicated lanes, which is what will help it to, again, stay on time. And where a lot of those improvements will come in, finished sidewalks, better visibility, and everything else. I'm gonna get to that gentleman and you, yes.
What are the hours? How early would it run and how late?
21 hours, I believe, and so it's almost 24 hours. It's only stopping down overnight to basically for cleaning process. So I believe it should be run to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I believe. We have had requests or interest, and why does it run a little bit later? And so we're bringing that to the project team as well. I know when we had the hop downtown, it was about the same timing, and so we were almost getting closer to a 24-hour type service. So we can definitely take it, that's a question or a suggestion, we can definitely take that back. But for right now, I believe it starts about, our current service starts about 5 o'clock, and depending on what route it is, basically about 10, it runs until about 11 or 12. This will start about the same time and run a little bit longer.
So would it be dark people sitting at the station, you have cameras in it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And cameras on the bus?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Safety and security is is a very high priority. It's high number one.
So now those cameras have audio?
Yes, our buses do as well. Our current buses do. So yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir.
What is what's the material being built for these stations? When you build these stations, are they gonna be closed in so the weather wouldn't be a factor to the people that's waiting on the bus?
I think, do we have a couple of the, station designs? If not, we can get some to you. We do have several of what they look like. They're not closed in, but they are secured. As you see, you can kind of see it from the top, but not from the side. But this is the roofing area. This is seating, pavement, and actual digital screens. So again, it does kind of make sure that you're not necessarily in the rain per se, but it's not closed in.
And then I heard you mention the project manager, but that's a lot of work about to happen. Is that being part of the minority can get part of this work? Who we need to see? I mean, what is going on with that part of the building? Some of that job being addressed to the minority that are part of this project.
Absolutely.
So what's going on with that?
So again, that's part of us coming out and talking to you guys as we start getting further down that process, and whatever contractors, firms are brought in at that point, that is part of the process. Where we are looking for people in the area, and I say we, but I say we as a group, contractors, BCD, part of all of us. We're looking for community businesses, all of that. We'll make sure that you guys know who those people are, who those firms are, and how to apply and possibly get some.
Could you consider that some of that project be for a small business man? Because in a small business man, a lot of times when you come to inquire for the information, you have to have certain bonds and shows this nature. And then the small businessman, he's good at what he's doing. He can get to do the work, but then y'all put the bond so high that when it's time for him to bid on the job, he's knocked out of the job because it's already laid out for the big man to keep the little man from being participating in part of that. So I would just kind of suggest that try to remember the small businessman too, to be a part of this project.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know that is something that is cognizant, or that the team is cognizant of. And I do recall those same sentiments being said when this station was being built. And I remember coming to community meetings and people saying the same thing at that point. And I believe the city representative, who was the project manager then, was sure that, there are ways that we can look at it. So again, that's something that we can have our team kind of speak to a little bit more. It's a little outside of what I can necessarily put out there, but I can definitely get that information to the right people and make sure that they are aware of it and how that works. But, and even right now, one of the things that I want to make sure that I put out there, even if you have young people, older people in the community, whoever it may be, we are always, in general, on the Carter side, and I'm stepping a little bit away from LCRT, we're always looking for people that want to participate. We have several different ways, whether you can volunteer or just give some time. We've got an ambassador board. We also have a rider advisory board where we get information from riders, so that affects some of the changes. And that's also people who we give direct information to as well. We make sure that they know things that are going on in our board meeting and can take it out to the public, so that if there are those types of opportunities, even before we get to this, even just in the part of land, then you guys can get those too. So let me know if there's anyone in here or outside that may want to contribute in that fashion as well. Ms. Scott, did I get everything with you? Did you have another question or good? Yes, I did.
Is there any way that there could be some type of clear enclosure, like around that?
You could definitely take it to the team and let them know that was mentioned here, and see what the response is to that. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm gonna get her and then I'll come back to you.
Are they gonna be autonomous? No?
No, not originally. I mean, not at the start. Don't know what it may be down the road, but initially, no, it will be drivers. It will be manned. Yes.
Okay, so this is going from Lansing to downtown Charleston, and it's gonna aim where it stop for the return and come back,
Near MUSC.
right near MUSC. So once I leave my car in Lansing, I'm good to ride the bus all the way down to MUSC.
Yes, sir.
And then when I get off at MUSC, and I need to go, let's just say, from there, I'm on my own to get to the next destination in downtown Charleston.
Yep, and that's where, again, especially being in a downtown area, right now, we are conducting a downtown study, and again, this is more on the Carter side, where we are looking at realigning some of the dash routes and some of the routes down there that can be most efficiently used. So that's where it will come in, knowing your transit system altogether, because those are free routes most of the time, especially our dash routes. And so once you get off there, there's several route options that can get you wherever you need to downtown. It's again, very similar to my hometown. It's a fairly easily walkable area. But with the transit that is there and how frequent it comes, you can hop on and hop off very easily. Even if you think you can walk all the way down to the Battery and come back, but you really can't, and by the time you get there, you're tired. Jump on a dash bus. So that's where that would come in. When you're down there, you can then hop on one of our other buses at that point. Yes, ma'am. Did you have, I thought something.
No.
Okay, all right. Good. Okay. Well, again, we thank you guys for having us. Ryan, did you have anything?
I was just gonna leave. Video, you can see your contact information, and then Sharon, that's not me, but Sharon's LCRT's project manager.
And she should be, again, she can probably chime in at one of our next meetings. We'll make sure we schedule that in. We've also got some handouts over on the table. We've got some specifically about LCRT where you can see the actual corridor as to how it looks. We've also got some information on the timing, as well as what it looks like along the corridor, because again, we want people to come to the communities, but it's also going to build up those communities as well. And so we have transit-oriented flyers over there as well, and we can have team members that will come back and speak to that. And this is truly a group effort. We are not in this alone. Again, we've got contractors, firms, other governmental agencies that are working on this with us. And we want this to be a success for everybody in the entire region at this point. So please feel free to let me know if anything. I know I owe some people some cards from the last meeting that I ran out. So just come see me and I can get you any other information. And outside of that, just contact me whenever you need anything or if you have any concerns. If community members bring up something that we didn't cover in here, just shoot me an email and we'll get it to the team and we can go from there.
There's a link to the project website, and there are some main comments too. But you can see more of the station questions and how the stations are elevated. More.
Thank you guys again. And let us know also again, outreach and if there's any other events that we can come to and speak to the public as well.
Yes, February 16th, is the calendar.
That's for the
Annual Baptist Church. This is
yes,
Town Hall.
Town Hall, that's what it was. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, you guys. Okay, with that said, any other new business that we need to address? Any new business we need to address? I do want to say that we were really concerned about Al's Diner being torn down, but I have good news that it will not be torn down this year. And we're praying that we can get funds to stick into a visitor center for Liberty Hill. So we're praying for that. So let's all touch and agree to that. That we find funds for that. So that'd be great. Actually, I would love for our new councilman, Brandon Hudson, to greet us.
Okay.
And I appreciate you coming.
Start with, as we discussed the other night. We have council at the same time as y'all's meeting, so I'm gonna do my best to get there and get here every time. I apologize, I will always be late. But I will do my best to come every single time. Yeah, so, I mean, the good news is y'all are the first to hear anything that comes out of those meetings. So, yeah, my name's Brandon, your new council person for District 8. Thank you so much for your support. I look forward to working with everyone. I'm very available. I just live right down the street. I just got business cards and I forgot them. I left them in the car. But if you guys want my phone number or email address, I'm happy to give it to you. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. I've got a little bit I can tell you about.
And again, Avenue, I turned to work on it into.
I just got it. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
With DOT?
Oh, you turned, okay. Oh, Gainer Avenue. No, I haven't heard about that one.
I turned one in last year, they told me I gotta wait 90 days.
Uh-huh.
That's our council person.
With DOT?
Yes.
Yeah, good luck. No, so I've only been in office for what, 2 weeks? DOT is so hard to work with. Because I know obviously a lot of our streets are state owned. You know, I'm trying because a lot of my neighborhoods have a lot of state owned roads. Charleston Farms going through the same problems. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but.
No, I just want to,
yeah, so I've not, nobody's told me about the work order. If it goes straight to DOT, then I don't hear about it. Yeah, I don't hear about it. DOT doesn't talk to me. I've learned that very quickly. I put in a work order through the city that was escalated to DOT in Charleston Farms they've got these drainage ditches that have literally been 25 years. And I got an email back that said, oh yeah, we'll look at it. And that's it. So it's a struggle with DOT because obviously they're beholden to the state. At the end of the day, I personally feel, and I don't know how much weight I can get from council, I think a lot of streets in our district just need to become city streets. I just don't understand why we're gonna fight with DOT. I've spoken with some folks in the city about that actually today, and they agree. So I don't think that from a city perspective, other than the fact that it's gonna be hard for us as a city to take over a bunch of roads that are so old that they're going to need to be immediately repaved at great expense. So I think the approach that we should try to take is, first of all, I'm just going to continue to hammer them with like, hey, follow up, right? Like that's what I can do as a council person. But what I think the long-term plan should be, and again, this is my opinion, it's going to have to go through council. If we actually want to take over these roads, council has to vote to accept any roads into the city. But I think we have a good shot at it. If we can find the roads selectively, let's pick the right roads that make the most sense. And then get DOT to repair them and repave them so that we can take over roads that won't need maintenance for like 20 years or something. To me, I think that's going to be easier to sell to council for District 8 especially than taking over roads that we then have to pony up hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to repair immediately. So, you know, glass half full. I don't know how much I can do. I'm an optimist. I think maybe we'll be able to get something done. But for now, yeah, just keep opening tickets to DOT. Let me know so that I can, if you've got a work order number or something, and I can. Yeah, they use my cell phone. They just got your telephone number? Okay. Yeah.
But I think if this council, you know, send work on it.
Yeah.
Say it blasting.
Yeah.
Because I got things down on Nesbitt.
Yeah.
I got the trees cut back.
Yeah.
But they do not, certain things they don't want to do.
Yeah, I mean, they're responsive with the stuff that they want to do, right? But they don't want to do the stuff that's like very expensive, very time consuming, very hard. You know, so again, like these drains, I don't know if they're ever going to come out and actually do something. Coming and looking at it's one thing, but you know, I think there's a lot of streets, obviously, in Liberty Hill that are, you know, they're short. But I mean, come on, why are we don't need to be wasting time trying to get DOT to come out and deal with a road that's as long as it's rain. Like it just doesn't make sense. But anyway, yeah, I agree. We'll try. I'm going to continue. I'm not optimistic that I am a magic bullet with DOT. Like that's obviously a state level organization, and I'm just one council person who is not hoarse from yelling at them yet. So I'll try.
As a community, will it help for us to sign a petition or sign something to say?
So DOT always says the more people who get behind something, like that makes them listen to it more because they're like, oh, this is truly a major issue. Again, I don't have the experience with that personally to speak to if there's any truth to that, but obviously anytime that we can work together on something, more voices is always better than one. DOT does have new directives that they're supposed to be focusing more on pedestrian safety and pedestrian-oriented transit, and that's the Montague redevelopment. That's a result of that, right? So we are seeing kind of because this particular area especially is very pedestrian-oriented. Like we're a lot of walking and bicycles and golf carts and all that kind of stuff. And I think if we can kind of get DOT to see that, because they're not here, they're not seeing that kind of thing. So if we can say, hey, look, like this is a pedestrian oriented, and look, this is going to benefit the Low Country Rapid Transit adoption. Like if we can tie some of that stuff together, I'm optimistic. So.
Yeah, DOT does monitor the accidents.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
Those are where the numbers start to hit the mark. So combining that with community involvement might help.
Yeah. But I think as a city, I think that's something that we're working on. I know our new mayor has already been meeting with DOT about various different things, so we'll see.
Brandon, there's a new business, excuse me, on Mixon Avenue, the old Abundant Seafood. It would have been nice if they would have, I know it's right on the cusp of Liberty Hill.
Yeah.
Are they open? Because I know that they had sponsored some salads for the Palmetto Gardens.
Yes, so Palmetto Gardens reached out to them and said, hey, we're having a potluck. And they were excited to meet the community. So they're very friendly, like this, I don't know how familiar you are with what's going on there.
I'm not.
So it's, I don't know, my wife's excited about it. This is a body that does not care for salads. So they sell salads, a lot of local salad stuff. If you ever want a $17 salad, that's your place. They're really good. They are really good, truthfully. That's what I said. I was like, I'm not going to go pay $17 to be hungry now. But anyway, I will try to get their business card and get that contact information to you because they do want to be, so they are small, kind of, I don't know if you call it a chain. They have like 3 or 4 locations throughout Charleston. And their whole business model is they make these salads, they make these kind of like little fancy wraps and all that kind of thing, which the wrap is literally a salad wrap. You're just like, I'm sorry. They're great. We're thrilled to have them, right? Like any local business is a good business, right? But they have moved, this is their new headquarters. So they're doing, I'm sure y'all went into Abundant and saw like they've got all the freezers and refrigerators and all that kind of stuff and all that prep space. So it's a perfect fit for them because now they can store all of their fresh produce because they're big on fresh. So now they're doing all their prep work for all their other locations here. They're doing all their like catering trays. They're doing all that stuff right here, and then they can distribute it out. So, it's nice. It's more than just a new restaurant. This is their headquarters. They are here to stay. They purchased the building. They're not a lease. Like they own that building now, and they've made a commitment to stay here for a long, long time. So
where is this?
It's right up, where Abundant Seafood used to be.
Mixon and Montague.
Mixon and Montague,
On the side
intersection
of
right
the
there.
train station on the Mixon side.
Yeah.
Are they open?
They're open for takeout only right now. So you can go in there and they have like this shelf with like little grab and go meals and stuff. I will say the kids' meals are pretty cute. My daughter got one and it was like the most fancy looking Lunchables I've ever seen in my life.
How much?
So,
$20?
I don't know. My wife wouldn't tell me, so I don't know. I mean, I'd be going to McDonald's. That's why I don't get to feed the kids. Anyway, but yeah, I'll reach out to them because the owner is very nice, I've heard. I was late to the Palmetto Gardens meeting because it has a conflict with another neighborhood meeting. So a lot of these happening. But I heard she gave a presentation. She's apparently very friendly, very approachable. She's very vested in being community oriented here. So I'm sure she would love to come to the next meeting here. She was giving out little free little coupon things, which my wife did not use. I'm sorry. I'm just like, anyway.
Everything is in white.
But the food's good. The food is really good. You know, and so yeah, I'll get her information and like $50.
Yeah, and then I put it.
And then we can just kind of maybe set something up with her. I'm sure she'd love to come and at least introduce herself to y'all.
And I know that you're just getting on board now. What's the status on the Danny Jones complex?
Yeah, so Danny Jones, just like it was last month and the month before is next month. So they are saying April, late February, early April. So, you know, obviously at this point, they want to make sure that it's right. It's not about getting it open, it's about getting it done.
Okay.
So, you know, the date that I was told by Parks is they're shooting for end of February. They said it's mostly done. Like there's already a lot of equipment and stuff in there. Like you could go in and say, oh, this looks done, but they're trying to put finishing touches on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything we need to know about from the meetings today?
Yeah, so, you know, I can't really go into too much, but regarding the diner, I did get what I have available, and I do have money. It's not a lot of money, but I do have money. So we'll be able to, obviously we don't know anything else about that, but I spoke with the mayor, and I said, look, let's stay on the same page. So that hurdle has been overcome.
Okay, y'all heard that? So there will be money for Alzheimer's to be restored, right?
Well, y'all still have to make a decision as a neighborhood how you want to do it. There's a lot of moving parts with this whole thing, but, you know, I'm obviously fully engaged, sat down with the mayor, and, you know, I'll do what I can. I'm excited. I think it's a great opportunity.
And we had some renderings that were submitted, and once everything get approved, we'll submit that to you guys.
Yeah.
For review.
Oh, and I did get confirmation, so the property next to Felix Pickney that's under contract.
Yes.
Can I speak about that?
Yes.
Is that, okay. So the property next to Felix Pickney that's for sale has been under contract for a while now. They were waiting on they were hoping, they were gonna try and have to get a building variance, so that they could build the number of homes that they wanted to on the property. I got confirmation tonight that cluster housing development requires no special anything. They just designate themselves as that, and they are allowed to build the houses. So they were thinking they were gonna have to get a zoning variance in order to build the number of homes that they wanted to on the land. It's like 3.5 acres, something like that. But because the change that the last council voted through on the 28th of December, that policy goes into effect, and it allows houses to be built closer together. Instead of being 10 feet, it's allowed to be 5 feet now. So they're going to be, and the size of the house, the minimum lot size has been dramatically reduced. So they're going to be able to build, it used to be 6 houses per acre, and now it's 15 houses per acre. Yeah, so they're going to be able to build exactly what I have not personally, I still haven't met them, still haven't spoken to them, but the plan that I have been told that they wanted to pursue, they should be able to pursue that plan given those new zoning changes, and that will not have to go through council.
So let me ask you, you said the property beside Felix Pickney.
Yes.
And the senior citizen building. And then
if you're looking at Felix,
this is on McDowell. It's McDowell.
It's been for sale for quite some time.
Oh, that little house.
Yeah.
The woods.
The property behind your house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, the property behind my house.
Right.
Okay.
So they're gonna clear that?
I have no information at all about what is going on with that property. All I know is what I've been told, which is that it was under contract, and that they were waiting to see if they were going to be able to build new homes there. So I can't speak to that.
Just a little bit. So we met with developers. They have a contract with a small family to buy 3.6 acres that are there.
Right.
They wanted to put apartments on there. Well, as Liberty Hill, we do not want any more apartments on Liberty Hill.
Because once you change that zoning from R1 to R2, then you open the door for.
Right, because it is zoned R1, right, which does not allow apartments.
So the thing is, they couldn't make money unless they had apartments. So they gave us a couple options. We didn't like those options. The third option was to make the requirements for the lots smaller, which is no different than what we have every day here on our streets. It's 30 by 60 or 30 by 90. So their requirements will be the same.
30 by 100.
30 by 100, yeah. Okay. So they grandfather all the Liberty Hill lots in because we always had those small lots to fit everybody in. So now it'll be a garden community, which will still be the same size lots. They're able to get more houses in, more bang for their buck, so they won't lose their investment of $1.8 million, which they're paying for it. And they will jack up the prices of the houses like $600,000. Nobody can afford it.
Right.
And then it takes your property taxes out, everything. So we asked them to at least consider that. They went to council and we got it approved as a garden community where they can build houses on smaller lots. And then they will, the prayer is that when we work with them, and when we work with us, we get subsidies so they won't feel that they don't have an investment. And then we'll make sure that the prices of those houses are not crazy.
You know, on 10 Mile, they built those houses. Some of those things are so close together, you could barely fit in between them. They don't allow for any parking, so those folks, their cars are sticking out into the street. They're well in the right of way.
The zoning does, it has a 2 parking space per lot minimum.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta take a look at it. You gotta take a
Agreed.
look at it
I'll have to
because,
follow it very closely, this is gonna be the first use of it. I completely
and
agree.
then the company that built the houses, I felt, I almost started crying. The trees and things that they didn't feel that was necessary to cut down, they didn't cut them down. And so the people who bought those houses have half-dead trees that are standing there on the back side of the property. They only cleared what they needed to clear, stuck those houses in there. And they are so close together, it is unreal, unreal. That's more cars, smaller houses, and I don't know if they're putting some kind of fire retardant or something like that in between those homes. Right, it's horrible, it's horrible.
So as soon as they submit the plans to us, we'll bring it to the body and let everybody see the plans that they have. But right now, it's not gonna be no different than what we have already. The houses are small, closer together. But they will have the requirement for them, they have to have parking either in front or back of the house.
So how soon they?
That's one step in the right
That will
direction.
probably be within the next year.
So they're thinking, like, starting this project within the next year?
Yeah.
So I would leave that long. I mean, it's a good thing, but how much, was it affordable? It's gonna be affordable housing? It's gonna be
Yeah,
housing?
so that's where we came in.
Section 8
We
and?
want them to be affordable housing. We don't want them to be $600,000 houses that the community cannot afford, or it's outpriced for the community. So when we meet with them again, we'll let you know. And for those who are interested in coming, please feel free to come and voice how you feel. Or we'll have them come here. They're very nice people. We'll have them come here and talk to everyone. But if you have any questions, shoot them to me and I'll make sure I ask them.
Well, that's news to me.
Yeah. Well, the Smalls family selling it, $1.8 million. They had other offers of $2 million. They settled on this company because they're willing to work with the community. But everybody's putting great bids for that whole property.
Okay.
Mixon Avenue been looking for years to put apartments.
But the thing, the major concern is I don't know how in the world they passed this ordinance because that's ridiculous. 5 feet between something.
Well,
You gotta
5 feet
think
is
about
10
that.
feet, 10 feet.
You gotta look at that, there's a structure, you gotta look at plumbing, how that plumbing and everything is gonna affect other people, electrical work, all of that.
Yeah.
How that's gonna affect not only what they're building, but the people who are around them. They're coming into a neighborhood, they're not building a neighborhood. So it's different between building a neighborhood and coming into a neighborhood and taxing all of the different, things, the utilities that they have.
Well, I
So
will
that's kind
say-
of amazing that that was even passed.
So the change is citywide. It's not just particular to this development.
Yeah, but
It's
still
it's a
wrong.
change that's been, the city has been working to change that, to allow for more housing in areas where there's already a lot of housing. Because, and again, I'm not taking a position on this particular project, I'm just speaking generally. North Charleston, I have to tell y'all, is growing like crazy. And every lot that doesn't have a house or something on it is gonna have a house or something on it. And we as residents and neighbors, we have to look at, one, what is something currently zoned for? So I have, it's technically not in my district, but it's right across the street in North Red. There's a property that right now is zoned for business and light commercial. And somebody could come in tomorrow, buy that property and put up a storage unit. But there's a developer who lives in our area and he's purchased it and he wants to change the zoning to R2, and put townhomes there. And so the neighbors are concerned because it's townhomes, right? And right now it's nothing. But the problem is if we say, okay, let's not allow that change. And then the next guy comes along and buys it and puts up a storage unit. I mean, that's, to me, housing is preferable than a storage unit. So I bring that example up because we have to think, and in Liberty Hill specifically, and we talked about this the other day, is y'all, a lot of you have owned these properties in these areas for generations, and you may want to move away, or your people aren't sure what to do with the property. And changes like this allow for more versatility. So if you want to subdivide your lot and put 2 or 3 houses on it, that's more viable now than it was before. And when we think about the changes that are made, and again, the previous council passed this, is they're looking at what can we do to put more houses where people want to live? Because people are moving in and people want to be in Liberty Hill. This is a wonderful neighborhood and it's moving in such a great direction so quickly. It's centrally located, and with the redoing of Montague and the Low Country Rapid Transit line coming down, and it's gonna have its own dedicated stop, and there's just so many things happening in this area over the next 5 to 10 years. We as a city have to say, well, what can we do in the context of the city? Because you say traffic, and I understand, I totally agree with you. If we don't become less dependent on vehicles, it's gonna be a problem.
And I'm also talking about utilities.
Yeah, and I will say, so when they come in, they're gonna have to get with the utility companies, because there's another development over, I can't remember where that is, but close to downtown Park Circle. And they came in and they wanted to build 15, and the sewer system said you can't. And that development had to be redone, and they ended up with 6. So they do still have to go through that process. They're gonna have to do the same thing with Dominion, which Dominion's coming through over the next few years and completely redoing all the electrical and everything on Montague. So again, you're talking about and I'm not taking a position, this is your neighborhood, you guys decide what you want to do with your property, and I will support y'all on that, of course. But just in the broader sense, you should, 30 houses in a place where people want to be, you're talking about 30 people who don't have to get in a car in Somerville and drive through Liberty Hill every day to get to their job. If they can live in Liberty Hill and get on a bicycle or take a bus or walk, I mean, that's the long-term plan. That's the direction that the city is moving in. And so we have to get behind that and try to support it. And I know it's hard, and we have to work together.
And just to put
Or
it
it's not
out
gonna work.
Even in my community, I'm a newer community, but it's 5 feet on each side of the property line in my community. I complain when they build a house close to my house. And I said, why are they building it 5 feet from my property line? That's the ordinance. That's the ordinance over the city of North Charleston. I'm in the city of North Charleston. So even in my neighborhood, they're doing it. So that's just everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, our houses are 15 feet
That's a
apart.
lot. So now it's 5.
They're close, for sure.
That's it.
It's a different, it's, you
Just gonna
know,
walk between the houses.
and, you know,
Just show me a picture.
you have to think also in the context of like, I know you won't live there, right? Like, you don't like that. And that's great. But if a builder builds it and somebody chooses to buy it, that's their business. So like, I always try to, because there's things that I wouldn't do, like, there's cars that I wouldn't buy, but I don't fault someone who buys that car because they like that car or they, you know, and so I love more people moving here because this is a wonderful area. So again, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of a soapbox, but you know, again, whatever y'all want to do, that lot is for sale by a resident. Somebody is choosing to purchase it for a set amount of money, and if they want to build something within the ordinances, and certainly I agree with, I can't remember if somebody over here said it, like, we do need to make sure that we hold them accountable, because you're right. Contractors in North Charleston, a little shady right now.
Then, in terms of holding them accountable, the materials that they use, the way they design them makes a difference to the community.
Right.
You know, because eventually a lot of the older houses may get remodeled or they may change.
Absolutely.
But the way they are sticking some of these houses in I understand the economic factor that, you know, I mean, look at there are some countries in the world where, you know, the population is much larger than ours and people live in much smaller places. I understand that. But right now, while they are building, it makes no sense to build these places that are really close together. The material's cheap. You can look at it and see. They don't provide for parking. They haven't added to lighting. And then on top of that, I can show you places where the drainage system is not adequate.
Yeah.
And so you're just sticking those units in and sticking people in. Hold their feet to the fire that they should use better materials, consider fire and soundproofing, and that and those streets that they're sitting on, that they have make the builders provide somewhere for the owners to put a car or something like that, because they are literally in the street, in the right of way,
Yeah, there's not enough.
on the sidewalk.
Yeah, and again, I agree with you. I think that's where y'all as a community have proven yourselves to be very good, is the ordinance, my role, the city's role, we can't control what they choose to build if it's within the ordinance, right, or the zoning. But you as residents, and I will be at every meeting with y'all, you can say, look, we are going to pitch a fit if you don't do what we require in this area.
And that's why they've been open. They were gonna put apartments there, and even the house, the single family home they were gonna put there looks like apartments. They took into consideration, we wanted Liberty Hill to be cohesive and look like a single family home, our historical one. They already took that into consideration and willing to change their plans. So with that said, they're open. So when they come back to the table, we'll let y'all know, and then you can voice your opinion. Okay. But they're open. Most developers don't give a care. They won't even let you in. They won't even let you know. They're just what they're gonna do. Right. So forget you. But these people are not like that. Well, that's good. Anything else we need to know here?
I think, no, I mean, like I said, I've got a little bit, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. Unfortunately, the way that they allocated the funds, Sam's money went to the new District 7, which is all the way on the outskirts of North Charleston now.
Our own money went to the new district.
Well, yeah, it was, yeah. So if it comes to it, I can reach out to Councilman Brown Jr., Mike Brown Jr.
Yeah.
He's the new District 7, so if we need to, I can maybe do a horse trade with him to get some of the funds. And I don't know how much money was left from the old District 7, but I have 8.
So the money they didn't use for our district, they took and put it in another.
Well, so District 8, because Liberty Hill was cut in half, right? You were half 7, you were half 8. So when they redrew all the lines, District 7 disappeared. and it reappeared way up past the mall somewhere. So the way the accounting worked is they just took the money from the original. Everybody was doing that.
That's crazy.
Everybody was like, what is this? Like, I feel bad for Nefertiti, in District 6, like she's, so I think they're gonna look at that. Because there was a lot of raised eyebrows and stuff. I think it's, obviously I was fortunate, I have money. Mr. King did not spend all his money, so that rolled over to me. But we'll, there's still a lot of hurdles to overcome for Zoe Diner, but anyway, I'm sorry, I'm not negative. We'll work through it.
You need to know that.
Yeah, but we'll work together.
Any other questions from the floor?
How can we come together and voice our opinions about how money got shifted to another district? We need to do that. Give us some answers.
Why did they do that? I think at this time, we just found out about this tonight. Like, when we first took office, we weren't even sure we were gonna get the money at all. So glass half full, we were able to get what we could. And again, I'm not sure how much, because I know that Mr. Hart spent a lot of money doing sidewalks in Whipper Barony and a couple of other neighborhoods. So he may not have much, or he may not have had much. I don't know. His list of sidewalks was similar to Mr. King's list of sidewalks, and like, I didn't have much. So there probably isn't that much, like we're maybe getting upset over nothing. But again, to go street by street and reallocate, like I understand why they did it the way that they did it. I think it's kind of like the guy next to me, he had negative 600,000. So, to rectify street by street because of all the redistricting, I think it's just one of those things that it's just going to be too complicated to figure out. So, we're fortunate that I had both sides of me. One person had 0 and the other person had negative 600,000. So I was fortunate to even have money. So I'm considering it a win. It'll be a nice little chunk of change that we can use hopefully for this very important project. And we'll go from there. But to answer your question, I'm sorry. You are, of course, as a resident of North Charleston, always welcome to go speak at any council meeting. You just have to sign up in advance and you can express your opinion for council to consider.
Was that voted on or decided on the last administration, the
way that the money was allocated?
Yeah.
So my understanding, and again, we just received an envelope, opened the envelope, here's the money. So that money was bonded money, and it has to be, so it was issued in a way, and again, it was under the previous, before me. So the way that money came into existence, it had a lot of strings attached to how it could be spent. And there was, at all the council meetings leading up to the end of the year, they were under the impression that that money would go away in December 31st. So apparently legal looked into it and determined that it could be used very specifically in the new administration. So I'm wondering, and again, I'm just speculating, I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe that was why it had to follow the district, is because of those legal requirements. I'm not sure, but nobody voted on it. So I think legal just looked at it and said, this is legally the only way that you can do that. And again, I don't know if that's why it went the way it went, but we were allowed to spend it as new council.
All right, thank you, Brandon, we appreciate you.
Thanks.
Historical Society, I know you're here, do you have any announcements? Any events you all have?
I am so sorry that I came in tardy. I think you mentioned something, listening, driving in, about thanking folks for coming out to the parade. Folks from downtown Charleston reached out to the Historical Society, and we said that we try to get as many people from our community, because in years past, we have not had large representation. So under the Alliance, we asked the reunion group and Improvement Council, Next Generation, we asked everyone to please come out and put a car in, place a car in the parade, and we just had good representation from our community, so we're very thankful and glad that we were able to come together and represent the Hill. Also, thinking about the Historical Society going forward, now we were in existence for 1 year. At the end of the last year, we had been in existence for a year, and for that reason, there are a few things that we're going to be doing in this year. We will support any other endeavors in the community for a Black History program that we will do going forward in 2025, and we'll come up with our own program going forward with that. The Juneteenth program, we're going to sponsor that again. We had a wonderful time last year. We're urging families to come out, enter your families in the contest so that you can present information on your family's genealogy. We had a wonderful time last year, so again, we'll send some information out so that you can get registered and research your family history, come out. Last year, the Smalls family won, and the Harper family participated, and let's see who else.
We came in second.
I'm sorry, yeah, they came in second place. The Smalls family came in first place. Who came in third place? I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember. Senior moment. But anyway, we're glad that the folks came out to participate. Begin the process of researching your family history, please. Which brings us to the point that we had several classes where we taught folks how to begin the process of researching their family history. We collaborated with the Gullah Geechee Quarter Commission. They helped to sponsor that project. We engaged the support and the favor of a young lady out of Atlanta. They did a Zoom presentation. It was wonderful. People found family members that they had no inkling existed. There were some folks who never knew their grandfathers or members of the family, not connected, but found out who they were. So that was awesome. And we're going to try to collaborate with other groups in the community going forward. We will give you the tools so that you will begin the process of researching your family history. We're not going to delve into your family's business. We will not do that. We will give you the tools so you can begin that process. It's exciting. You'll learn a lot. It's very emotional at times. So we urge you to participate in those classes we're going to set up. Also, there's some other things on the horizon. We're collaborating with the Academic Magic School, teaching some of their children, especially in their African American history program, about Liberty Hill. We were part of their in-service project that happened this past August. And we went and talked to the faculty members. They were just so happy that we came in to talk with them. Now some of their students are asking if they could be of service to folks in Liberty Hill. They're going to be scanning some of our documents. Folks in North Charleston High School, they work with us. Kids from Bowie State and their professors work with Valerie and with our group so that they could come in and learn more about Gullah Geechee Quarter Commission and about the Gullah Geechee settlement community. We're collaborating with other groups throughout the Low Country. We're working on the historical registry, so that means we're doing a lot as a group. And we've been in existence for a year. So thank you. We want your support, both physically and financially. So we thank you for just really supporting us in our endeavors.
And they always look for additional data. They're still collecting obituaries. Obituary has so much history.
Yeah.
You know, the family names and what the family members did, and they're archiving that. So eventually, one day, we will have the virtual Liberty Hill, where we'll have this interactive map where you push on that address or that house, and all the information of those people will come up, their history, who was in there, and what they went on to do, and if they're still in Liberty Hill. So that concept came from Donna McLean, and we're going to see that through. So that's what the Historical Society is scanning all those things in, so we can put all that data into that format. So anybody who has information, or grandmama kept all those obituaries, and you can entrust the Historical Society with them, and they'll give them back. Okay, don't forget to sign in before you leave. Don't forget membership. You need to take your dollars, $5 or $60 for the year. And, our town hall meeting is January 16th, that's a Friday.
February.
I'm sorry, February 16th, thank you. Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Town hall meeting.
February 16th, at 6 p.m., at Royal Life Center Gym. And then the budget, y'all, look this over. It's the same budget from last year. We'll vote on this next time and take a page from you, and I'll email it to you also. But it's the same budget from operations to direct community support, activities and events, branding and marketing, advertisement, and we'll vote on this next time. Okay? Anything else we need to announce? All hearts and minds clear? Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you. Now we'll close out in prayer. Don't forget out and read.
Okay, continue for prayer, please. Father God, we come to you again. Thank you for this meeting. Thank you for your allow us to hear. We ask that you guide and direct us and lift us up. Father God, we ask that you help. Remember the bereavement family and those that are sick and shed in the neighborhood. And we ask that you keep us until we see each other again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And we thank Rapid Transit and DOT representatives for coming. Thank you online. See you next time.
Council meetings are,
Well, yeah, first lady in the house, y'all.